Hello collective, top of the day to you, or top of the evening as the case may be. This is the third attempt at doing a reading for you. I did actually do a whole reading for you this morning that was over an hour's long. And it was very complicated. So I'm going to try and go for something simpler. I'll just mention some of the stuff that came up in the previous two readings. The first reading I did the other night seemed to be talking about somebody who seemed to be saying to pay attention that either you or someone else is not objectifying other people, animals, or nature and thinking that they can engineer results because this puts spells on nature and puts spells on the things that they're trying to engineer. That, you know, that objectifying people, animals, or nature divorces you from the consciousness of those living entities and therefore causes you to make wrong decisions. And it seemed to be drawing your attention to that there was somebody in your circle or somebody around who might be looking at the world in that way, and to be wary of that. And then today's reading was, the earlier one today seemed to be saying, like, just pay attention to the details and not to be, it was all about love and relationships and not seeing someone through rose-colored glasses, basically. Like, it was all about who you can trust and whether someone is marriageable, material or not. So it seemed to be suggesting that you need to look inside and be honest with yourself about your personal relationships and your true feelings about them and whether you really do feel that you can trust the people around you. It was heaps more complicated than that, it just wasn't clear enough, which is why I didn't publish it. I did get the vibe in the end, but it took a long way to get there. But so there's issues of trust and judgment and discernment about other people, and particularly in terms of romantic relationships, potential partners, and paying attention to the small details in business and stuff. So that's what we had so far as a background. I'll just consider them pre-reading. So that's what's in the atmosphere before I throw again today. Now, I'm going with the question that I've been working with the last two readings, which is, what's a good thing to focus on? And I'll just start again. And I might even put the timer on so I don't get too carried away here. So I'll turn the 10-minute timer over. Let's go. Dear Sage, for the highest good of the person who clicked on this video and the highest good of all, what is a good thing for them to focus on at the moment, for the viewer to focus on? Okay, 2 heads and a tail, so that's 3, 6, 8, which is a yin line. Pussy, you have to wake up now. That was the other thing, the other reading, the cat wouldn't let me finish the reading. She's a very demanding cat. She needs a lot of attention. Same again. Okay, next. 3 heads, which is a moving yang line. 2, 4, 7. So that's a yang line that's still. Good thing to focus on. Okay, so we've got another still yang line. Okay, so we have hexagram number 33, which is retreat or withdrawal. And it's changing into hexagram 12, which is stagnation or decay. So it's just not a great time in the world at large. This, you know, things you probably don't want to expose yourself to. Is there something to go with this sage? No. Okay, so we'll just work with this. So your first hexagram is 33, which is withdrawal, which basically means it's not, and this is actually very much in tune with the reading I did earlier this morning, which was Taming Power of the Small, which was basically saying the same thing. It's a time for pulling back. Pull your energy back. You know, like it's the tide coming in rather, was it tide going out, tide going in? You're just pulling your energy away from social situations. It's not a strategic time to invest, to be sociable or anything like that. And the reason being is it's like there's stagnant energy socially, and corrupt people and people with poor taste, let's say base tastes, indulgent kind of energy. If you go out at the moment, you're likely to get caught up into something that's a bit yucky, and you're better off just not doing that. You're better off just keeping your distance. It's fairly straightforward. So I'll read from the book that we've got today, and we'll get the moving line. So basically, yes, time to detach, because it's like pulling yourself into your inner world, because those who are not of the highest standards are out and operating at the moment in the 3D world. Pussycat, you could come up if you want to. Okay, so should we read the right hand interpretation or the left one? Heads for right, tails for left. Okay, right hand. So time to detach. It says, a period of detachment is called for. Take time out from everything that's been going on. You will benefit from walking away, because getting involved will get you nowhere. Attend to minor matters, which is what this morning's reading was all about. It had Taming Power of the Small, which is all about paying attention to small details and just doing all those little tasks and not missing anything, and being frugal and restrained with your energy, your time and your focus. So this basically is saying the same thing in a different way. It's a withdrawal of your energy from social things. Pussycat, you can come over here. Come over here, darling. It's all right. It's all right. Come up on the table. It's all right. Yes. It's all right. She needs a lot of attention all the time, this rescue kitty. Okay, so it says, attend to minor matters you had put to one side. This will occupy you and give you time to recover while some of the bigger issues begin to resolve themselves. You might have felt threatened by what's happened. There's no point in building up resentment, as this could trigger a destructive process and everyone will suffer. If you retire with dignity and keep your distance, the wounds will heal with time. Allow nature to take its course. Step back a little and gather your strength for another day. Okay, and you got line 3, which says, you may have been dragged into the middle of something you wanted to avoid. Oh, don't you love that? Don't listen to those acting only with their own self-interests. Their motives are shallow. Value the opinions of those closest to you. Well, that would be you, Pussycat. I'll have to ask you what you reckon. If something happens that I get dragged into I wanted to avoid. Yes. Yes. So, that's your first hexagram. That's all pretty straightforward. Now to hexagram number 12. me just put this down a bit so you can see the cat. Number 12 is timely withdrawal, which is saying the same thing. Do we want to, or it's called resolving issues on the other side. There's two interpretations for each hexagram in this book. For some reason, I don't really understand. Right-hand side or left-hand side? Right is head, tails is, heads is right, tails is left. That's what it's trying to say. Okay, right-hand side again. So it's called timely withdrawal in this one. It says, things are not quite right at the moment. It's a difficult time to make progress as a deadline has set in, just like in early autumn when the year has passed its zenith. Obstructions to your progress are being presented, and it was other people who brought this about. You've tried to unite others and it may have backfired. Now any further attempt at communication could make things worse. It's time to sit on your hands and watch what's been happening rather than getting too involved. The way forward is uncertain, so it's not the time to make risky decisions, which once again reinforced this morning's reading was all about looking at the details and not taking any unnecessary risks, about being frugal and very discerning at the moment. So there seems to be like, if I go off the previous reading, there seems to be some kind of temptation or something, like possibly in love or something, or in business, like someone trying to draw you into some kind of an arrangement, whether it be romantic or business. And it's just like, look 2-3 times at this, look at the details before you decide. Like, don't see it through rose-coloured glasses. And if it's all as well, then fine and well, but you need to examine the small print on things at the moment. Right. It's time to sit on your hands and watch what's happening rather than getting too involved. The way forward is uncertain, so it's not the time to make risky decisions. Right, that's where we're up to, risky decisions. It's a risk avoidance kind of a time. If this is a timeless reading, whenever you get this reading, this will be for the moment that you're receiving the reading. So it's just not a good day to take risks, and it's probably, I didn't ask a time frame. Should we ask a time frame? Let's just get a time frame on this. How long is this sort of withdrawal retreat? Are we talking 24 hours? Yes, but I'm looking for the 3 S's. 48 hours? No. 3 days? Okay, so it's about a 3-day retreat, approximately. They could be cosmic days or actual days. Like it's, they could be symbolic days or actual days, yeah. So, but about 3 days. So it's about a 3-day retreat and withdrawal and recharging and just staying away from dodgy people and not making risky decisions, especially not without looking at the fine print. Withdraw from the front line and do not be tempted by lucrative proposals. Right, yeah. This is typical of a time of in this hexagram 12. There's often a lot of temptation around. Like that's why it's kind of, it tells you to withdraw, because you might be inclined to go out and, like if there's things you want on offer, let's say, and it's saying, no, this is not the time to be tempted by lucrative proposals. Bite your lip and cross your fingers as matters are now out of your hands. Right, so it's just a pulling back. That's very clear. All right, can we get some more clues about this? Let's just get some animals here. Animals weren't officially a part of this reading, but that's what I feel like I need. Okay, so what's something helpful we can do in this withdrawal, pulling back time? The 3-day withdrawal. What is helpful energy, dear sage? Authority. You know what is best for you, so don't let anyone, talk you out of your decision. You know in your heart what's best for you. Trust yourself. What else is helpful in this 3-day retreat? Or a helpful sort of energy to tune into or go with during this retreat, or to know? Coyote, wise fool, accept your follies and find the teaching in them. Right. Well, you probably know now because you've made a few mistakes before. That's what I'm actually getting. You know now. You know now not to make the mistakes you made before. This time you're going to pull back and not be tempted by some lucrative offer that's, you know, all this glitters is not gold. What else is helpful? One more helpful here. During the time of withdrawal. So you just have to accept that lessons, you have had to learn a few lessons. We all have to learn a few lessons. You cop it on the chin sometimes. All right. Something else that's helpful during this time of retreat. Be bold and take charge. So don't hesitate to assert your need for retreat. If someone tries to pull you out of your retreat, what you know you need, what you know is best for you. And maybe you're taking charge of something that you've been putting off, because that previous reading I did this morning with which was it? Hexagram 62, Taming Power of the Small, is all about paying attention to the little details, like being frugal, just attending to all those matters that you've been putting to one side, maybe because you've been out socializing or busy online or something like that. It's like, well, attend to all those little things you've been putting off. For some people, it might even be tax time. That came up in the previous reading. Some people might want to do their tax about now. So don't be talked out of what you know to be true, because you've learnt your lessons the hard way. Like we all do. We learn them both ways, the easy way and the hard way. It's just part of life. Okay, what else have we got here? Let's pull a few more cards. Oh, I knocked the timer over. Good on me. All right. We'll do helpful and not helpful here. Do 2 helpful and 2 not helpful. 2 cards of helpful during this time of retreat from this deck, which is picture cards. Abundance. So this is going to help your abundance. We'll probably stop you overspending for sure. In the previous reading, it was definitely saying don't count your chickens before they hatch kind of thing. Don't spend money before it's in your pocket. Like, don't count on future earnings and start spending them. Wait till they come in. And it was also saying, like, wait until the change happens before you take the next move, because some big change is imminent. It was... So this could be related to that too. It could be like the pulling back of the arrow, getting things in order so that when you do step forward, it's all orderly. It's all, your ducks are all lined up. So abundance. This will help your abundance because you won't be overspending. You can probably eat some of that food in the back of the cupboard too. Maybe cook yourself a nice meal or something, a home-cooked meal rather than ordering one in. So yeah, it's a time to be conservative and not take risks in money, and this will serve you well. It's bringing in abundance, just that little bit of auditing. That's right, the reading this morning was all about auditing, and auditing for honesty. It was auditing the honesty of the people around you and your own honesty towards yourself. But it was also saying to look at the details of any paperwork and, to do with money stuff as well. So it's just sort of like a bit of an honesty audit for some people. Just checking out how honest the people are around you. If you're happy with that, then that's good. And if you're not, then you might want to make some changes. There was a lot about that in this morning's reading. Okay, so what is helpful in this time of retreat? or what is this retreat in aid of? Dark-haired woman. Okay. So if you're not a dark-haired woman, maybe this dark-haired woman is an exception. Maybe you're pulling away from everyone except for the dark-haired woman. All right, well, whoever this dark-haired woman is, she's on the helpful side. So there's a dark-haired woman in the scene that's here to help in some way. All right, so on the unhelpful side, we have anxiety. Anxiety is not going to get you anywhere. Probably if you go out, it's only going to cause you anxiety. And a surprise, maybe that's an unpleasant surprise. Or maybe surprises are just not helpful right now. You just need a bit of stability and calm while you get things sorted out. Because there was a lot in this morning's with Taming Power of the Small, and in this one here with Retreat. It's just about sorting out the details, making sure everything's in order. You know, just a bit of audit, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. So, yeah, maybe because there could be some kind of a surprise coming that could cause anxiety. You might want to just make sure everything's in order. Okay, let's get some more cards. On the helpful side, please. Telepathy cards. Okay, that one jumped. Some things are best let go and you let the universe work it out in its divine time. Let go. Right, that's fully coherent with what the reading's saying. It's just saying let go, pull back, let God or nature or time do its thing. There's a time for pushing forward and there's a time for letting go. And this is a time for letting go and letting God do the work. Okay, what else is helpful? Acceptance. Be prepared to accept what fate has in store for you. And I'm actually getting this card is actually giving me this really nice feeling. Like I haven't felt much off the cards today, but this one's actually giving me this nice surprise feeling. Maybe you're anxious about something that's actually going to turn out to be a nice surprise, because this just feels really like, sort of feels like before Christmas, like a kid before Christmas, like the tree. It just has this sort of anticipation coming off this card. It says be prepared. Like the card is about acceptance, but I'm feeling like this nice sort of feeling coming off it. So yeah, I'm getting let go and let God. That's the vibe. Let go and let God, because God's got something better than what you could have planned. I think it might come as a surprise, even though you're anxious. Yeah, that's the way I'm reading it. That feels more coherent. Like when I feel the energy coming off the cards, it feels like you're anxious, but you're actually going to get a nice surprise. And that feels connected. Accept this nice surprise. Even though this is on the unhelpful side. It's just saying that anxiety is not helpful. Life is full of surprises. You can't anticipate them all. All right, so on the unhelpful side, what's unhelpful during this retreat time? Your soul is preparing to re-establish trust in the process. Right, and it's right next to anxiety. Right, so the anxiety shows that there's a lack of trust in the process. And so that's what your soul needs to work on during this time of retreat, I think. But it's probably also, oh yes, because you're preparing to re-establish trust. That's why that honesty audit, which this morning's reading was all about, that I didn't post. It It was this whole honesty audit with yourself and with all the relationships around you, that you need to establish a level of honesty that you will accept from yourself and others, and whether people match up to that or not. And, you know, we've all been had our trust broken at some time or another, and a lot of the empaths have been actually hunted and stuff, so that really messes with trust. So it could take a while to be able to trust again, but it's saying time's going to help you heal that wound, and the audit will help you prepare to trust again too, because you'll be clearer about red flags and stuff. You'll be clearer about trusting yourself, I think, because that was the reading this morning, was all about being honest with yourself when something doesn't seem right, not just hiding it from yourself, but actually acknowledging it, that I'm registering this in my body, that this doesn't feel right and that I'm not clear about this, rather than pushing that feeling down and just, sweeping it under the rug. It was like, you've got to be honest about these things to yourself when you're not sure if someone's honest. You've got to be honest to yourself about the fact that you're not sure if someone's honest. So at least you can start from where you are actually at, rather than trying to pretend that you do trust someone who you don't. Forcing yourself to trust someone that you're not ready to trust. Or affording someone trust who doesn't deserve it. Handing trust over too easily. It's like there was this whole audit thing going on this morning with taking care of the details, looking at all the things carefully, and looking at all your relationships carefully. There was this whole audit, trust, honesty thing going on. So I suppose that is preparation for you being able to trust more fully if you've been hurt. What else is on the unhelpful side? Trust. So there's issues of trust going on. You need trust in a relationship for it to thrive. If I could put it in a nutshell, that's what the reading I didn't post, because it was an hour and 11 minutes long or something. And all it was basically saying is that you need trust in a relationship for it to thrive. And you can't make yourself trust someone when your body doesn't trust them. You can't force yourself to trust someone just because somebody wants you to trust them. You have to trust your own gut feelings about things and be honest about where you're at with that. And it's basically saying that if someone's, the reading this morning was saying, if someone's stirring up confusion and guilt and all this stuff, that they may not be the right person for you, because there's probably something dishonest happening there if there's guilt and confusion and you don't know what's going on half the time, and temper tantrums and things like this. Right, so relationships that don't have enough trust in them, they're just not going to last. That was very clear in the previous reading today. It was like, if there's not enough trust, it's just going to self-destruct, basically. It was the end result of the reading. It was like anything that's not got enough honesty and trust, it's just not going to last. It's going to destruct. Okay. A few more cards. One here for helpful. Right, it's the owl, and the hours are all about watching out for deception. So there's an issue here about someone who you need to assess who you can trust and what's trustworthy and how far you can trust yourself and trust the situation. All right, there's a warning of deception around. So it's like, be wise as an owl. That's what it's saying. You need the discernment, the night vision of an owl at the moment. And maybe you can see better by pulling back. Like when you're directly involved with something, you're in the emotion of the moment, or the lights and colour of the moment, whatever it is. But when you pull back, you can kind of see more clearly. I'm getting night vision off this. It's just that word's coming to my mind, night vision, because the owl hunts at night. You might get some visions at night when you're alone. So this whole message is about trust and discernment and looking at the details. You really need to assess who you can trust or not. Apparently, that's a major issue at the moment. That's gone through 3 readings, the 2 that you didn't see and this one. So discernment and trust are the issues. And taking a step back is going to help you decide that. What's not helpful? Death. Your coffin. Something's over. Probably because it falls next to this card, you need trust in a relationship to thrive. It's basically telling me that someone who you can't trust, that relationship's over. I mean, there could actually be an actual death. Like, as I pull this card, there's several people in my own life who could be in that coffin at, you know, any time in the next 3 days. But I think it's death of a relationship. It's death of untrustworthy connections, I feel. You've got to, these untrustworthy connections need to die so that something better can take their place. Okay, let's get an emotion card. What's a helpful emotion to look at during these retreats? What's helpful? Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Interesting. Well, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to freak anyone out here. I'm not saying that people are after you, but maybe you got to acknowledge what your fears are so that you can do something about it. Like, there may be nothing to what you fear, but I'm just getting trust in God, but lock up your camels. Is the phrase that's coming through, and which is a pretty crazy thing for a vegan to say anyway. But I think you get the point. It's like, yes, well, if you're worried about your something being robbed, then don't leave it on the front lawn. You know, maybe put your bicycle away if that's what you're worried about. Because it's on the helpful side, see? So there may be something that's not unfounded. You know, if you have the idea to look over the books again or something that, you know, maybe you did add up the numbers wrong, or somebody else didn't quite put the numbers as they were supposed to be, or something like that. Like, the whole vibe of this card is like not to be afraid. But I'm definitely reading, because it's coming here next to this discernment, the hour of discernment. It's like, well, maybe there's something niggling at you because you need to pay attention to it. You know, maybe go and just attend to that thing that it's bugging you, so that you're no longer afraid because you've taken care of it. You've used your discernment and you've taken care of it. So what's not so helpful here? Relationships, right. So there's some relationship here that's not so helpful. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So the people who serve your higher good are not going to be leaving you feeling anxious like this all the time. And you will trust them enough that you can build on it. Because anything that's not built on trust is dying. It's dead. It's dead in the water. Any relationship that doesn't have the trust is just not going to make it. You might as well write it off now, because you can't build on it. All right. Anything else? Let's get one crystal card just to wrap it up. One helpful crystal, please. Something that can wrap this reading up. While these people are in retreat, using their discernments, looking at the details, not taking any risks, examining their relationships. What's helpful here? Citrine. Oh, this is also consistent with this morning's reading. So there's money's not an issue. It's even though it's telling you to be frugal, it's also indicating that money is coming your way, that there's quite a good flow of money, because you've got the fish in the other reading as well, which is all about money. Like money came through and abundance came through quite strongly in the previous reading, and now it's coming through again. So it might be just like you need to manage your funds well and the result will be good. It might be a timing thing, like, you know, just don't invest this week. Next week, after the 3-day thing or after the change, which is due to happens, then you'll be fine and all the money will flow in. Whatever's going on with your relationships, your money's fine. That came through in all 3 readings. Your money's going to be fine. You just seem to be going through some relationship thing here where you're looking at who you can trust, basically, who you can build with, who is marriageable, who is good to do business with. You know, who can you honestly trust? Maybe it's only yourself. Well, if you can trust yourself, that's a good start. Anyway, you've got 3 days to think about it and attend to those details and check anything that might need an audit. And then some change is going to happen, apparently, according to the previous reading. Something fairly significant is about to happen. This is like the pullback before it happens. I'll leave it there. Collective, I think that's enough for now. You have a wonderful day.